Well, good afternoon and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's afternoon tea time. And today in the studio, I am joined with Dawsher Charles. She is the founder and and the manager director of Survivor Scholars. So I'm going to read a little bit on Dasher, and then she's going to share her incredible story with all of you guys out there. And we're going to sit back and enjoy an incredible tea time together. As you can see, yellow is on the screen. So yellow is Dasher's favorite color, and it is to brighten the day up. So a little bit on Dasher. Dasher Charles is also known as a resilient warrior, is a founder and manager director of Survivor Scholars. She describes herself as a lifelong learner as she seeks to continuously update her skills in every opportunity she gets. Dasher has over 5 years of experience with youths where she inspires, motivates, and impacts over 1,200 youths to date through her various community engagements, through her voluntary experience, and within her organization. She has served through tutoring students, coordinating camps, youth councils, motivational speeches, and one-on-one discussion, webinars, and workshops with youth. Dasher is on a mission to build more resilient students by helping them surmount their struggles, to strive in their studies and school journeys to become successful stories. So welcome, Dasher, to Tea Time with Miss Liz. It is an honor to have you here. So
Thank
could
you so
you
much for having me.
could you share with everyone what Survivor Scholars is all about and how it got started?
Survival Scholars is an organization that empowers students to cope in their school and life journey with any challenges that they face. And we are a support system for these students. We empower them with resilience skills in addition to social and emotional skills so that it could help them in terms of dealing with any trials they face along their journey.
So what was the reason behind starting all of this?
Uh, for me, starting Survival Scholars began in my second year, first semester of university. That was 2017, where I was in a depressive state because it wasn't the norm to me. The school environment wasn't as it would be for me. I am very much accustomed to school being fun, enjoyable, a place of great socialization, enjoyment of learning. But at my school, there were many students who spoke about wanting to just get their degree and get that certificate and exit. And that was different to me. And I thought that school should be like that. We shouldn't want to hurry up to leave school to go after and see what life has for us. To me, school should be enjoyed. School should be taken as life itself, because I believe you learn many life lessons in school itself. So that is why I created Survivor Scholars. I was in a depressive state, and then I also found out that many students they were struggling in terms of dealing with school and life. Some students were now venturing out on their own, first time living on their own near campus and whatnot, and they had many different experiences that were trying to them. Yeah, and so I saw that these trials, those students face them, I believe that it is something that they can overcome rather than allow those trials to overcome them. Because some of my friends, they were like, girl, I going to take a semester off. I don't think I'm doing the right degree, and there were different situations that faced them. I myself wanted to take a semester off as well, but I felt like if I left, I would have never come back. So I was just like, okay, let's stick it out. Let's see how we can make the best of it, and then therein, Survivor Scholars was booted to help students to overcome the challenges they face in school and in life, so that they can succeed in school.
So what was your greatest lesson with all the students that you've worked at with Survivor Scholars? What is the biggest thing you've learned about yourself? Dasher?
One of the biggest things that I've learned about myself is that I am resilient and I could work towards overcoming any obstacles that come in my way. There were many other discoveries that led to that revelation because in university was the first time in a long time since I failed classes. I was experiencing many difficulties myself. Um, Even with friends only, it was difficult managing friendships at schoolwork. As you say, sometimes you'd see those memes saying that you have three options. You have a social life, you have a school life, and then you have a television life. And they were like, you can't have it all, you know. Uh, but I think that we should have it all. Like, we can't have that balance. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important to have that balance.
So with Survivor Scholars, you're encouraging the stories, not the grades, right?
Yeah.
Could you get more into that in more detail? Why you think that that is important and why you feel it is important? Because I myself feel that that is important, right?
Indeed, yeah. I believe that is important, especially when I failed a class in university. I was like, whoa, my heart kind of skipped a bit because I didn't like I haven't failed it so long. It felt new, it felt different to me, and I almost felt like I was going into like a real regretful state. But then I picked myself up and I was like, no, I can't do this, and so that there I was trying to not attach my identity to my grades because I realized that many students or as students we can fall prey to that happening where we think that okay, I got A in this subject or I got placed in the dean's honor roll. That means I'm so superb and I am, probably better than others or so. But that is definitely not the case. There's a separation, and I think that we need to definitely separate the two. We have our identity, who is about us and what we stand for, and then we have the things that we do which is separate from who we are. Yes, and I think that sometimes that could be in intermingled where students think, oh my god, I failed, so I'm not good enough.
Yeah, because we focus so much on the numbers, right? So if we don't get that 100%, we think that we're not a value, you know. And I really like that Survivor Scholars shows that the stories matter over the grades.
Yes, it does indeed.
So
Both of us have different stories. Yeah, even though if you graduated with honors, even though if you graduated first class honors, we have different stories. So like any workplace, both of us have different the same honors, but we have different stories, and so our stories will really and truly distinguish us from each other, honestly, and how we manage to balance our school life and what additional activities we did and these different things.
I like that you use that word balance, right? Because we need to balance in life, you know? We need to take the good and the bad in order to balance ourselves. You know, you can't balance yourself without one or the other. And I like that about the way that you're reflecting yourself and the way that you're showing the balance, you know. So if anybody would like to get involved with Survivor Scholars, how could they get involved with it?
Well, they can go onto our website www.survivorscholars.com, and there's the sign up now on the top right. Also, you can feel free to reach out to me, Dawsher Charles, on social media, and let me know if you want to get into Survival Scholars. We are like a student community there as a support to students.
So is Survivor Scholars all over, Dasha, or is it just in your area?
Yeah, we are all over in terms of, well, recently we went international. Thankfully, we are a peace partner with the Global Peace Challenge 2020, in which you are a global peace ambassador for. So I'm very grateful for that we are extending our networks. And my goal is to see that we have a survival scholars throughout the region and internationally as well to help as much students as we can. Yeah.
So what is your message when you say survivor scholars? What comes to mind? The message that you'd like to give to everyone.
When survival scholars comes to mind, I think about not only surviving but thriving as well.
I like that. So now we're going to get into the other stuff that you are a part of. So what else are you doing besides the survivor scholars in your life? What are you a part of, and what other projects are you working on?
In addition to survival scholars, I recently became a global well-being envoy for the Reimagining Society. We formed the Trinidad and Tobago chapter. I am the co-founder of the Trinidad and Tobago Reimagining chapter, where it's all about well-being and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Honestly, well-being is the heart of everything. For me, well-being is the heart of resilience, actually. And it is my goal to empower students to have that balance between their academic achievements and their mental health and wellness.
So what does mental health mean to you, Dasha?
For me, mental health means that you're not putting pressure on your mental health. You're trying to take care of yourself, maintaining that self care, being very aware, self aware, having a lot of introspection in terms of your activities to ensure that you're keeping your mental health in check.
And you also did a webinar just shortly on Mental Health Week, right, with Dr. Carl Ryans.
Yeah.
And what was the message for that webinar?
The message for that webinar was you are not alone. Most times, students or any one persons feel as though they may be going through a difficulty all alone and they may not open up to others. But it's really, really good to open up to others and tell them how you feel and even share. Like in our support system, it's a safe space. And just the other day, a student came in and said, guys, I sometimes beat myself up for not. I know I'm doing good in my school, but I may not do as good as I want. So I'm kind of being hard on myself. And then everyone else jumped in. I was like, yeah, that's they can relate to that. Sometimes it's imposter syndrome. Sometimes not looking at other people's grades could help too. Because sometimes we do that comparison, which isn't really healthy for us. Although we're doing well, we just see other persons doing better and we feel down. So it's so important for us to be self-introspective and be self-aware of the things that we are carrying on our mind.
So if you could give one message to anybody out there, what message would you like to give to everyone?
What I would like to give is, as I like to say, the longest rope has an end. Whatever difficulties that you are going through, there will be an end to that difficulty, and so that too shall pass.
So you can always get over it, right? There's always a solution.
Yeah, I agree.
So now that we're on tea time, here comes the tea questions. So what does tea mean to you, Dasha?
Well, tea to me is a wonderful, soothing um, sort of drink that helps you with anything possible. I know that there's tea for anything that we need a cure for. Um, for me, I really, really, really love peppermint tea. That's like my main amazing tea. And I also really love spice tea.
Oh, so what is spice tea?
Spice tea is where you use uh, cinnamon. nutmeg, spices, even clove, and you have that mixture of blend of spices. Where I'm from originally, where I birthed was Grenada, and they are somewhat called the Spice Isles, and one of their national ingredients is nutmeg. So yeah.
Nutmeg. I'm gonna have to get you to send me that recipe because I'm always willing to try new teas, and I like to learn about the different cultures in different countries on how they serve their tea and how they drink their tea. So, do you have like a tradition? Like, when's the best time to drink tea? Like in the morning, in the evening, before bed? When do you drink your tea?
To be honest, tea can be drink anytime. Uh, I just love tea. It tastes even better when it's making cold, so you drink a hot glass of tea. But more so maybe in morning or evening, night. It really doesn't have any particular time. I just, hey, I feel for something, I'll just go drink some tea.
So, if I gave you the word tea, and now for each letter, I need a word for the letter TEA, what words would come to mind?
TEE. T, thankful. E, enough. And A, all rounded.
I like it. Tea enough, all rounded. I
Yeah.
like that. It's really, I always ask my guests this because for each person, tea means something different for them. And when I ask them to individually give me a word for each of the letters, each time there's a different word. So that just goes to show everyone out there that tea means different things for people, you know? And we all learn and we all grow in different ways. And this is what Tea Time is all about. We grow. So with Survivor Scholars, we grow as well. And we grow through stories.
Yes.
So if out of all the stories that you've heard in Survivor Scholars, is there one story that has stood out the most for you?
Um, well, I've heard many stories that are jaw dropping. Uh, you're like in awe when you hear that story, and you're like, oh my god, and you just like, yeah, so nice, so calm. Like you can't believe a student went through so much turmoil in their life. Uh, One of my friends, um, she was from the country Saint Lucia. She's from the country, and she came into Trinidad. And in order for her to complete her university, she had to get a loan. And her uncle used his home as collateral to give her the money to fund her university. And she was like so dedicated. If she didn't tell me that, I literally would not have known. But she was always dedicated to doing well. She'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Dawsher, I failed a course, but I'm gonna try it again." And she was doing one of the most challenging degrees, which was engineering. It's sort of like spans into 4 years, but they actually have the course for 3 years. So it's like 7, 8 courses per semester, where the usual amount is five. So to me, that was like, wow. She really, really, really had a lot on her plate. I could call many, many other stories that was like, wow, everyone has their different kind of uniqueness, I think, in their story. That's what makes them unique.
And I like that. I like that word unique. I like the words that you're saying because I use these words quite often. Be unique, be different, be resilient, be strong. You know, because we need to show the world that we're all different. We all grow, we all learn different ways, but we all do sparkle.
Yes.
We all do shine, and we all bring a difference to other people in different countries and different worlds. So I would like to talk to you a little bit about you just received a huge honorary doctorate. How do you feel about receiving that award?
Honestly, I was very surprised. Honestly, it wasn't something that I was like, okay, I like, usually sometimes the things that I want is something that I work towards getting, right? I mean, having a doctorate was something that I wanted, but I didn't think about it anytime soon, right? So to me, to get the doctorate so soon, I was like, wow, this is really, really amazing. And funny enough, to be honest, I still have to write a long story about that, right? But to get a doctorate in the social work specifically was so important to me, in terms of like, okay, so for me, I did economics as a degree, right? I did economics, finance, and management. Nothing that I do now, right? Interestingly enough. Um, I remember before my father passed away when I was 18 years, he was like, when you were talking about university, he was like, so I was asking him what I should choose for university. And he said, don't choose economics because for economics you need to be further. You need to have like a master's or a doctorate to have a great impact with economics, right? So he was like, you could do something like accounting where you get the degree and you could just like go to work one time, right? But still, for me to get into university was very interesting. I actually didn't get any of those choices because I had economics, I had accounting, I had management, and I had some other subject, but I didn't get none of them. um, I got something called agribusiness, right?
Okay.
I think that was done by accident, um, because of how I wasn't a national, and so me how I was applying as a national, they sort of mixed me up. And so my uncle helped me, and well, I got to do the economics, right? That was one of the things that because I loved economics from since secondary school. And so I was like, okay, well, let's give economics a try. I do well in it already. I placed in the Caribbean for economics, so I did it. Um, but then after, well, when I was in university, I was wondering like what to do in addition to economics. And what happened was I chose to do finance because it was like a bandwagonist thing. All or mostly all economic students did finance because, like, well, you could do. Everyone thinks that economics deals with finance or money, right? But that's actually far from true.
It is.
Economics deals with social behavior and whatnot, right? Demand and supply and how persons navigate through choice and opportunity cost. But thankfully, in my economics degree, I did other courses like education and these things. And I was speaking to a friend, and they said that they did psychology and economics. I was like, wow, that's a real excellent pair of choices because economics is like psychology, more or less, right? But psychology is more on the social aspect, per se. And it was kind of too late for me to do that option, and it would have kept me back longer doing my degree. So I was just like, you know what, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, and maybe after I think I'll do my degree in psychology or something like that, right? So I just finished with that economics and finance and stuff and just like get it out of the way. And after my degree, after when I finished, I just dived deep into say I did a lot of small courses. Like I did play therapy, I did psychology, counseling, grief counseling. I did really a lot of courses. I did self harm, suicide ideation, bullying, you name it, like many short courses, and it really gave me a different perspective. And my mentor, the person who I did the courses with, she was telling me, "Girl, you need to get your degree or something to add some more credibility into what you're doing because you're doing the work." But people like to see, hey, this person have a this as social work or a psychology something or sociology to go with it. And so, to me, getting the doctorate in social work will now help to add to my credibility any work that I do. Um, Even though I was doing it before with experience from the small courses didn't have any big weight. But I'm
Mhm.
very thankful now that I got the doctorate with the social work. And to me, that's just like how God works, because would have taken like what 2 3 years to finish a degree again in psychology or a master's in that field of play therapy or something of the sort. So I'm very grateful for it indeed.
Well, and I believe that the universe works in a cycle, right? Because we meet one person, and that one person meets another person and another person. So it's like the ripple effect, right? So I'm a watcher, so I watch and I see people that are really trying hard in the world and making a difference. And sometimes they just need that one time, they need that chance, right? They need that one person to say, you know what, I believe in you, you got this. So when I seen you at the seminar for the mental health, I seen the strength, I seen the resilience, I seen something in you, a drive, but there was something missing. And then when I was asked to make the nominations, I was like, oh, I know the perfect person. I know this girl. She needs a chance, and I'm going to give it to her. And I really can see you opening doors with that honorary doctorate and making a difference for the young children because you're one of the younger ones who has received this award. And you can show the youths, that anything is possible. And people are watching. And you might not even know they're watching, but they are. And with Survivor Scholars, there are people that are watching, and there are people that are, because I think it's a time where we need to hear stories now. You
Yeah,
know,
agree.
it's that time that this generation needs to hear stories in order to get through life. We need to experience that we're not alone, that other people go through these things as well. They have struggles, because a lot of people, they'll see the titles and they're like, oh, you had it all made, but they don't see the hard work to get to where we are. The late nights, the research, the reading, the planning and programming. It's a lot of work, and a lot of people don't see that. What they see is they see the titles and they see, oh my goodness, she had it. It was easy for her. No, it wasn't. Like, Dasha is a hard worker. This girl works all the time. Like, I mean, she is a hard worker. You are achieving things in life because you are a hard worker. You're driven. And I really want you to understand that you have made a difference in my life. You have made a difference in many people's lives. And keep doing what you're doing because Survivor Scholars is something that we do need. And we need to hear the stories. And it's like you said, we don't need to rush out of school, right? We don't want to, okay, I got my diploma there, I'm done. I don't want to hear about school anymore. Because you can always go back to school at any age. You can always educate yourself more, right?
Yeah.
So the message that you want to give with Survivor Scholars, Dasha, is it for just the youth or is it for everyone out there?
Honestly, it's for everyone. Because it's for everyone because parents and all they to get caught up into those years of conditioning that the grade or the school what their child passed for defines them, but it really and truly doesn't. Teachers as well, they are as well need to be informed or educated about these different aspects, uh, and the society in general, because the main aspect of the Stories Over Statistics campaign is to allow society to lessen or break away from asking students, hey, what school did you pass for, or what grade you got, or um, what honors you graduated with. I mean, yes, achievements are awesome. We achievements helps us to push ourselves further, right? It
Mm-hmm.
helps us to get out of our comfort zone and reach for the stars, right? But at the end of the day, we could do better in terms of switching our focus to student stories, what makes them unique and what makes them stand out honestly.
I like that. We stand out, right?
Yes, yes.
So, if any final words that you would like to give to everyone out there today that's listening, and anybody who's watching the replay, please put it in the comments replay. And I'm going to put in the comments Survivor Scholars website so you can check them out and you can see what they're all about. And if you're interested, get involved. Reach out to Dasha. She's very easy to talk to. But what is your final message to everybody today?
My final message would be to focus on building your amazing story. Yeah, because no matter what hurdles, no matter what challenges, struggles you are facing, I believe that there's always that turning point whereby you have that positivity, that light, that turn around to show that life is not only one way, It can be the way that you want it to be. You have the choice to design your story and finish it on a good note. Yeah.
I like that. So, with Dasha's final words, I want to thank you, Dasha, for joining me today in Tea Time. And keep doing what you're doing. And if you need any help at all or anything from me at all, just reach out. I'm just a call away or a cup of tea away. So, for everybody out there, I want you to take the time to check out the Survivor Scholars website. I'm going to put it into the comments and reach out to Dasha and her team because they are doing an incredible job. And again, thank you so much for coming on Tea Time and sharing about your incredible organization. And we will push it so we can change more people's lives through their stories, not through their numbers. So
Thank
thank
you
you for
so much.
joining me in for Tea Time. And I'm going to close up Tea Time with a little bit of Miss Liz.
Okay, thank you so
And
much, Miss Liz. And thank you so much for nominating me for the doctorate. I know that it will really help me in my journey as well. So thank you.
you're very welcome. And we just got a couple of comments here. I'm going to bring up and we're going to close Tea Time up, and I'll see you on the 30th with another guest and another story.
Divine energy. Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah, Miss Liz, tea time, yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz, tea time, making a difference, one cup at a time, tea time, yeah, tea time.
Thank you for joining me, Miss Liz, for Tea Time, making a difference, one cup of tea at a time.